My wife said, "You're not man enough to handle my independence," after she started hiding money and ignoring me for days. I replied, "You're right." Then I filed for divorce and moved her mother into our guest room. Her lawyer called me laughing when he saw the paperwork. I'm standing in the corner of a crowded company banquet, sipping club soda, when I hear my wife say something that punches me straight in the gut. Honestly, she tells her coworkers, loud enough for the whole damn room to hear, "Eric's intimidated by how successful I've become. He's still stuck in the man provides fantasy like it's 1955. My name's Eric. I am Chijiste Usme, and I've been married to Danielle for nearly a decade. I don't move. I don't speak. I just listen as the woman I gave everything to makes me a punchline at her corporate mixer. That night in the car, I finally say, "Danielle, that was harsh." She doesn't flinch. "The truth stings, Eric." I stare at her hands gripping the steering wheel. "You're not man enough to handle my independence." That's when I know it's over. Let me take you back a bit. I met Danielle in Denver when we were both junior CPAs at rival firms. She was bright, strategic, and knew how to handle a spreadsheet like a ninja. I was smitten almost instantly. She wasn't just smart, she was fearless. We dated for 2 years. Then I proposed at Estes Park during the fall elk rut, surrounded by aspen trees. She said yes. We bought a house together in Fort Collins. I fronted the down payment, $120,000 I'd saved up over the years. Her credit was in recovery mode from grad school loans, so the mortgage went under my name. We said we'd add her later when we refinanced. Never got around to it. We kept separate finances. Danielle always said financial independence was non-negotiable. I agreed. We split everything proportionally. I made $115,000. She made $80,000 back then. It worked. For a while, we were a solid team. Late-night work sprints. Weekend hikes in Horsetooth. Lazy Sundays with takeout and Netflix. Then came the promotion. Danielle got bumped to senior director. Her income jumped to $105,000. I was thrilled. I took her out to dinner. I toasted her with champagne. I posted about her on Facebook like the proudest husband alive. She stopped holding my hand after that. At first, the shift was subtle. She started spending more time with a new crowd, a group of women from her Pilates class who called themselves the Ember Circle. All of them were divorced. All of them carried this raw, bitter edge. They met at wine bars, went on healing retreats, and posted quotes about breaking chains and silencing the patriarchy. I didn't think much of it. I was busy with work. I didn't mind her having space. But then came the sarcasm. "I can buy my own dinner, Eric. I don't need your wallet to feel validated." I'd offer to grab sushi on the way home. That was it. "You trying to schedule my oil change again? I don't need a man to manage my life." "I wasn't managing," I said once. "I was helping." She rolled her eyes. "It's all the same." 3 months ago, I walked into our kitchen to find Danielle poring over our joint account, transferring funds to her personal one. "Hey," I said casually, "did you move $900 last week?" "I'm protecting my assets," she said without looking up. "From what?" "You, Eric. From men like you who use money as a leash." That's when I realized she didn't see me as a husband anymore. She saw me as a threat. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. Instead, I made one quiet phone call that changed everything. Danielle's mother, Lorraine, is a 70-year-old retired schoolteacher. Sweet woman. Lived alone in a low-income senior complex in Greeley. Danielle had always talked about helping her mom out. Never followed through. Too busy. Too empowered. I wasn't too busy. That night, after Danielle stormed upstairs, I called Lorraine. "Lorraine, would you like to move in with me?" A pause. "Are you and Danielle okay?" "We're not, but I'm okay, and I want to help you." She cried. Then she said yes. The next morning, I moved into the guest room and filed for divorce. Danielle was gone that weekend on a personal clarity retreat in Sedona with the Ember Circle. While she meditated on becoming a goddess, I loaded Lorraine's boxes into the back of my truck and drove her to Fort Collins. She was unpacking when Danielle walked through the door Sunday night. Her face went ghost white. "What the hell is she doing here?" I said, "I invited her. She's family, and she's staying in the guest room. You don't get to make decisions like that. Check the deed." Danielle exploded. This is control, Eric. This is financial abuse. Lorraine stepped out of the hallway, still holding a folded sweater. Danielle, honey, he's giving me a place to live. That's kindness, not abuse. Stay out of this, Mom. Danielle shoved past me, stormed up the stairs, then came back down holding a thick manila envelope. You filed for divorce? She shrieked, waving the papers in my face. You're divorcing me because I'm finally standing on my own? No, I said calmly. I'm divorcing you because you turned our marriage into a competition, and because you call me weak for loving you. You can't handle that I make my own money. You make $105,000, I said. I make $115. But I also have $500,000 in investments from before we met. You never asked, so I never told you. Her face drained. You what? I lived lean. I saved early. I don't brag about it because I'm not trying to win. But maybe you were. That night, Danielle tried crying. Eric, please. We can fix this. The Ember women, they've been feeding me crap. I see it now. I miss you. I shook my head. No, you miss the stability, the house, the lifestyle. You miss being able to tell your friends you married a provider while calling him a dinosaur behind his back. She went pale again. You said I wasn't man enough to handle your independence, I reminded her. So I'm giving you your freedom. You've got 30 days to move out. That's when she called in the cavalry. Monday evening, a black Escalade pulled into our driveway. Out poured 5 of the Ember Circle, all dressed like they were on their way to a witchy TED Talk. One of them, Marla, I think, pointed a finger in my face. You're weaponizing housing. This is systemic oppression. Lorraine stepped between us, arms crossed. My daughter ignored me for years. Eric's giving me shelter. That's not oppression, it's generosity. You're siding with him? I'm siding with sanity. They left after I threatened to call the cops for trespassing. Danielle lawyered up fast. Her attorney, Sasha Bloom, specialized in feminist divorce advocacy. She called me with fire in her voice. You're manipulating the court by giving her mother free housing. It's my house. She's my tenant. $1 a month rent. Legal as it gets. You'll hear from us in court. My lawyer, Jeremy, laughed when he heard. She wants alimony, he said. Also half the house, half the investments, the car, and $20,000 in legal fees. I laughed. Does she think she's divorcing Jeff Bezos? 2 weeks later, we sat in mediation. Danielle walked in with Sasha on one side and 2 Ember sisters on the other, arms folded like bodyguards. Sasha opened fire. My client contributed emotionally and domestically to the home. Jeremy cut her off. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, all paid from Eric's account. House is premarital. Receipts here. She paid for groceries, which we calculated. She contributed roughly $1,500 per month. Eric paid $3,300. Again, receipts. Danielle turned red. This is abuse. Jeremy pulled out his phone. We received footage from a neighbor's Ring camera. He hit play. There was Danielle in our driveway 3 months ago on the phone saying, once I hit executive director, I'm divorcing Eric and taking him for everything. These Ember chicks are right. Men are just human ATMs. Danielle's jaw dropped. That was taken out of context. What context makes that okay? I asked. When asset division began, Danielle's list was outrageous. Half the house, $300,000. Half my investments, $250,000. Alimony, $2,000 per month. Legal fees, $20,000. The car, and the living room furniture. Jeremy offered a counter. Her car, already in her name. Her clothes and personal items, already taken. $10,000 cash settlement. Oh, no alimony. Each pays their own attorney. Danielle screamed. I'll go to trial. Perfect, I said. We'll subpoena the Ember sisters. Play that Ring video. Show your Facebook rants about how marriage is legalized oppression. Let a judge see it all. Sasha leaned in, whispered in Danielle's ear for nearly 5 minutes. Finally, she sighed. We'll take the $10,000. But Danielle wasn't finished. 2 days later, she showed up drunk on our lawn, flanked by Marla and Ember sister number 3. You betrayed me, she slurred, pointing at Lorraine. You picked him over me. Lorraine stared at her. You left me in a roach-infested apartment. Eric brought me here and treated me like a person. What exactly did you expect? Danielle lunged, slipped on a sprinkler head, face planted into the grass. Marla and sister number 3 hauled her into the Escalade and peeled off into the night. A week later, Danielle lost her job. Her boss, Mark, called me personally. Eric, I shouldn't be telling you this, but she's been calling married co-workers brainwashed slaves. HR had to step in. After her last empowerment seminar in the break room, they let her go. I thanked him. Danielle was spiraling. She tried to move in with Marla. Lasted 3 days before getting kicked out for not paying rent or washing her own dishes. She bounced to sister number 3's guest room. Lasted 1 day. Got into a fight after preaching to their teenage daughter about how marriage was domestic slavery. She landed at a cousin's place 2 hours away. Danielle hit rock bottom fast. She texted Lorraine, begging her to talk to me. Please, just ask him. I'll sign a post-nup. I'll give up everything. I have nowhere else to go. Lorraine showed me the message. Eric, she said, I don't want to get in the middle, but she's desperate. She made her choices, I said. She didn't want a husband. She wanted a trophy to beat up in front of her friends. Lorraine nodded. I understand. For what it's worth, I wouldn't let her move back in either. 2 weeks later, the final showdown happened. Danielle showed up with a U-Haul and 2 Ember sisters. She said she was there to collect her half. I had a sheriff's deputy waiting, plus receipts for every major item in the house. Danielle pointed at the living room furniture. Mine. I pulled out my phone. I bought this set at American Furniture Warehouse. Paid in full. Here's the receipt. The kitchen table. Mine. Bought it in 2011, before I met you. The blender. Lorraine, from the kitchen, said, that was a wedding gift for my sister. It's mine. Danielle tried to grab the doormat. $12.99 at Target, I said, showing the receipt. Paid with my debit card. The Ember sisters started shouting about systemic oppression and patriarchal property norms. The deputy chuckled. It's not oppression if he has the receipts. It's just ownership. They left with exactly what the settlement allowed. Her clothes, personal belongings, and a decorative vase. Danielle looked like she wanted to die. 2 days later, she got kicked out of her cousin's place. She sent one final email. Eric, I don't expect forgiveness. I see now what I became. The Ember Circle didn't empower me. They poisoned me. I hurt you. I hurt my mother. I threw away the one person who believed in me. You were more than man enough. I wasn't woman enough. Please take care of Mom. I never did. Danielle P.S. That ring footage was from a night I was drunk, but I guess drunk words are sober thoughts. I didn't reply. There wasn't anything left to say. A month later, I was officially divorced. Lorraine still lives with me, legally. She insists on handing me a $1 bill every month for rent. Last time, she handed me a Ziploc bag with 100 pennies and a smirk. She's joined a senior art group, taken up quilting, and started dating a retired Air Force mechanic named Pete. He brings her flowers every Sunday. As for me, I met someone, a woman named Clara who works in home renovation. We bumped into each other at Lowe's over paint samples. I told her the short version of the story. Her response? Sounds like your ex was allergic to kindness. She might be right. The last I heard of Danielle came from Lorraine. She tried to join a new group, she said, chuckling. The Rising Embers, a group for women who feel betrayed by the Ember Circle. Apparently, even they rejected her. Turns out, when you have no money and no followers, you're not much of a movement anymore. Brenda, the ringleader, even posted a passive-aggressive quote that Lorraine showed me. Sometimes we must cut ties with those who no longer align with our energy, even sisters. Danielle replied, I thought we were family. Brenda blocked her. So that's where things stand now. I still live in Fort Collins. The house is peaceful. My weekends are quiet. Sometimes I help Lorraine with her quilting projects, even though I'm terrible at it. The other day, she said something that stuck with me. You know, Danielle spent so much time trying to be independent, she forgot how to be decent. She's right. Danielle thought independence meant stepping on the people who supported her. But real strength? Real strength is choosing to love, to help, to be loyal, without making it a contest. Now I'm free. So is Lorraine. And Danielle? Well, she got what she wanted. She's alone, empowered, and unfollowed. and I'm sleeping just fine. Have you ever seen someone throw away something great because of bad advice or the wrong crowd? Comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life twists like this one.